Let's take a look at creating a OneNote Class Notebook within each of your courses. So I'm going to click on Honors Algebra 2 to get into this team. And if I go to the General tab, it will usually say at the top, before anything's been posted, to set up a class notebook. That's what I'm going to click. And I want to set one up from an existing notebook content, because I have taught this course for a few years, and the notebook I use this year, I want to have a lot of those resources and handouts already in the notebook so that I don't have to get them from my OneDrive into my OneNote notebook again. So I'll click from an existing. These are the sections that I will have by default. On this next tab, this is where I'm going to add the content that I want to move. So I want to go into this year's notebook, which is right here, 21-22, and in the content folder I want to move all the answer keys, the daily agendas, all the worksheets from the different units, and even things that might change, like the daily agendas could change. I kind of like having something to start with so that all I have to do is modify them. And then in my teacher only, well, actually, let's just say done for that, because that's the content library. Now in the teacher only section, I'm going to go back to that notebook. In the teacher only section, I'm going to copy these things that were part of my teacher only section. In another video, we'll explain the difference in greater detail as to what is the advantage of using a content library versus a teacher-only section. And then I'll say next. Now, the sections that my students will have, currently I've done handouts, class notes, homework, quizzes. I found that this year, without us being virtual, I don't really have a need for the quizzes section anymore like I once did when we were remote, so I'm going to get rid of that. I can always change this at a later date and time. This is how I've currently organized it. Homework, class notes, handouts. I really haven't used the handout section that much. It's really been between just class notes and homework. However, I have considered creating new sections for my students this year, doing it by unit. So I can always change that at a later date and time, but I think I'm going to try it this year. I'm going to try to have a Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, Unit 4, Unit 5, and Unit 6. Then I'm going to go ahead and get rid of class notes and homework because those will be within their particular units anyway. I think I'll be much happier with that, especially for organizational purposes. And I'm going to say create, and it's getting my class notebook ready. My class notebook is ready, and I will get a Teams message when all the sections have been copied. Again, I can access this notebook right here from within Teams. I am in the Teams app right now actively, and I can click right here and see all the different sections and content that I have moved over. A lot of it hasn't happened yet. It's still syncing, and it will eventually appear right here in just a little bit of time. However, most of the time I will access this notebook from my desktop app. It'll be much easier to open it there because then I'll have a lot more space. Right now, I'm only using a portion of my screen window. All right, the next one I want to show you is how to create one from scratch. So I'm going to go to Fundamentals of IT. I've never taught this course before, so it's a brand new notebook. Set up class notebook, just like I did before from the General tab. This one will be a blank notebook. It will still have these main sections, as they all do. The sections that I want to use, again, I'm considering doing it by module, but because it's a new class, I think I'm going to stick with handouts, class note, homework, and again, I won't be using the quizzes section, so I'll just limit it to these 3 sections. If I need, I can always add at a later date and time another section, even after I've created it. So I'll click on Create. And there you have it. It's all created. It is blank, so there's nothing in here at this point yet, but it has been created. I can't see any of my student notebooks because I haven't added students to this class yet. When I do that, when I add members to this team, they will automatically be added into this notebook. But I won't be prepared to do that until a later date and time when I get my roster and I have this course set up a little bit more in depth.